Okay guys, quick little video. Basically this is the prepping process. I'll kind of start with just whenever these beams lap, there's a crease, like a void. So what we do is we go through and we fill that with caulking, and then we caulk everything in. I like to caulk in these jambs, very important. So this is the product I use. It's called XIM Peel Bond Primer. It's a high build primer sealer. This stuff is the best stuff in the world to use. But the only issue, and I've had this over the years, people have commented, and they watch the video of their house and they go, well, you said you were going to prime, and everyone looks for the pure white primer. So this stuff dries clear. So I mix a teeny bit of normal primer in it just so I can see where I've been in the video, mostly for the homeowner more than for me. But so it's a high build, so it's really awesome. You can see some of it on the doors. And this whole area was done with it too. The thing I like about it is the fact that it is a high build. So what it does is it lets us put paint over the top and makes it easier, so like all this guy right here was done. You can kind of see how there's a transition there. So it lets you build paint over the top far easier. Lets you really get a higher level for your paint to make it even out. And unfortunately it's a lot of paint to go in these buildings. So I'll start on this far edge. It's about 4 o'clock on Friday. Been here 2 days. Yesterday we pressure washed. It's a pretty good jump though today. So you can kind of see by looking at the building a lot of that primer. And then you can also see, if you look at the fascia, how we've gone ahead and all that stuff. Let me zoom in. So all those voids are done, and then the voids like there on the corner piece, around the windows, any of the seams. So this side's ready for masking and paint. And then I come over here, and again, get out of the way of the tree, here as well. So we've got all these all caulked in. It's kind of hard to tell unless you look, but you can kind of see how there's primer on there. So that's that high build primer I use. And so this side's all pretty much ready. I'll take you up top and show you some of the damage that I ran into. None of it's a big deal, we're fixing it, but yeah, it's just, everybody works on their house where they can get to it. But once it's, the high nasty stuff like this. So it is Friday. I am going to come back for a few hours in the morning and get a jump on this prep. But you can see like how that was scraped. Chips were picked up. And that's that primer. And then through here too. So when we see, so this was really dry, so this has got all that primer, so it smooths it out and makes it so it's easier for us to paint over. There's our partner in crime up there. We didn't bother him, we like bats. So here's what I was saying on the telephone about potato chipping, is what our terminology is, but it's more concave. So you can see these, this is a beam, or this is an actual plate. This one had cracked because it started to bend. So this had concaved and that had broke. And then again, here, and then again here. So all those 4 in a row, plus these 2, they actually cracked because of the heat up here and just not being taken care of for years. But so we caulk them in, we get them all caulked in, and then we fill them with paint. And hopefully you won't even notice. I mean, you barely notice now from the ground. So, but that's pretty much the only way to really fix those, unless we start tearing them out and putting new boards in. And in this case, I don't know. I think I'd suggest we just go ahead and we paint them up, and I think they'll be all right. But I only do this every week, so. And then behind, stuff like this, scraped, and there's that primer in there to kind of smooth it out. And then all the face is also primed. I think with all this work that we did today, I think it's going to come out really nice. I don't think you're going to notice any of it. I would love to upcharge and bring in the saws and recut everything, but the reality is that I mean, new stuff is going to do the same stuff over time too. So we're going to like patch it up really good. It should look good. If you decide that you want to replace all the wood, I can do that. But, you know, to replace these, but again, I think what we did today, granted it looks kind of choppy now, but once it's painted, I don't think you'll notice. I mean, we didn't even notice it from the ground looking at all the cracks. So now it's sealed. So it should be fine. Again, like all through here, all these guys, all this has been done. All these cracks have been addressed, and behind here, a lot of the black that we could see on the ground, we got rid of with bleach. I'm gonna have to come in and do some sanding, unfortunately, but this side here is good too. So we've still got this wall, and then I've got to go over the top, which I will most likely do tomorrow. End of the day crept up on me today pretty good. I gotta pull ladders, I gotta kind of clean up. I was figuring I'd just be back here around 8 again. Start the whole process again and throw some hours at it before I go cut down some trees. So in here you can kind of see where our primer is a little better, obviously. So anything that's painted, so all this stuff here, all the crease lines are addressed, and then any knots. I'm trying to make it a smooth surface. So like here, there's a knot, so we put that stuff over the knot so that when the paint goes over the top of it, there's a really smooth appearance and it looks nicer. And then we obviously did all these beams all the way out, not the ones obviously that we're gonna stain, but all those are done. And so all this here is done. You can kind of see that sheen when you look there. So addressed, good pressure wash yesterday too. We got a lot done with that. And then we've got to about here. And then we've got all this stuff here. So tomorrow and Monday we will be prepping. Prepping is the biggest part of the job. Obviously it is the most important part, you know, getting in and really kind of prepping everything so that it's solid. It looks nice when we're done. But I mean, we're moving. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up another case. Look, we're going to go ahead and pick up another case of caulking, but I think for the most part we're moving. We're doing pretty good. I don't think it's too much of an issue. Everything's coming out all right. So that's where this is. I'm going to go ahead and leave some drop cloths out on the deck. I don't think anyone's going to steal them, and I'll be back in the morning. So awesome. Hopefully this finds everybody well, and we'll go from there. Bye.